Adam Silvera. His latest book, The Survivor Wants to Die at the End, is out now. He's on a book tour. Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me.
I mean, the book is out now. You're on the tour. It's almost your birthday. I mean, talk a little bit about, kind of this exciting time that you're having right now.
Yeah, I love a birthday. I'm obsessed with birthdays and I have been since I was a kid, but I also love a book tour. And this is the book tour for my 10th novel in 10 years. So it really does feel like I'm like, wow, I've been doing this for a decade now. And that feels really phenomenal. And I feel really lucky. And I'm just relaxing into it and celebrating with readers and family and friends.
And one of the, it's not just writing the book, but you also go out and meet the fans. You do these book signings. You're going to be here at Anderson's Bookshop on May 15th. I also love that you always make it a point to, to come to see your Chicagoland fans, as well
Yes.
too on your tours.
I am obsessed with Anderson's and I love that bookstore so much. So it's always like when I talk to my publisher about the tour, I'm like, I want to go to Anderson's and I know I should probably go visit some other cities, but I just love it so much. I'm not a fan of the cold, but it's May, so I'll be
It's May,
okay.
yeah. Hopefully the
Yeah.
weather will be nice for you.
Yeah.
Positive Alana, let's talk a little bit about their storyline and what we're going to see in this third book in the series.
Yeah, so it's a different kind of novel in the They Both Died at the End series. So the They Both Died at the End universe, it takes place in an alternate New York, essentially, where an organization called Deathcast can predict when people are about to die, and we always follow a different pair of star-crossed lovers across the books, and it's always this 24-hour love story. But in the case of The Survivor Wants to Die at the End, it actually takes place over the course of a week and doesn't begin with one of those characters receiving a call from Deathcast. And this time it's about a boy who wants Deathcast to call because he's just so unhappy with his life and is feeling he's just struggling mentally. And then the other boy, Alano, is the heir to the Deathcast empire who is so determined to save Paz and make sure that his father's company never calls Paz. So it's a really epic love story.
Yeah, when I heard about the concept of the book and Alana's character, I mean that was what I was most drawn to is that especially he has all this power, he's going to be inheriting all this power, but he's making some big decisions right now.
Yeah, and I mean, he's trying to make some big decisions himself, but he definitely feels like a lot of pressure from his father, which is something that I think we can all relate to in some capacity, whether it's the pressure from a parent, a teacher, a boss, whatever it may be. It doesn't necessarily have to be a global empire like Deathcast, and Alano just wants to seize his own fate and not have everything predetermined for him.
And the thing too that I love about this series is that it's very intentional. Obviously you have this big shadow of something looming that is over you, but just how intentional do you live every day? And I think that's just a positive message. Despite kind of what's happening, in the pages and the journeys that they go on. I think it's a great takeaway that readers can have.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's definitely something that I felt like I needed that lesson myself when I was younger. And as I was writing these books and growing up alongside these characters, I was like, I feel like a bit of a hypocrite. Like, I don't think I'm living my life as fully as I can be. And I definitely have made some bolder choices after the publication of these books.
I want to talk a little bit about the readers, when people are talking to you, when you are in the book signing lines. Obviously, people are very invested. People already got their books. I'm sure there's a few fans who have already gone through through the whole thing already. But just
Yes.
the journey and what that means to them to be able to be seen, especially as readers.
Yeah, it is really wild because this new book is longer than the previous two. It is 700 pages, and readers have been finishing this book within hours. And I was working on this book for like a year and a half. And but it is honestly the greatest compliment that all that hard work led to such a seamless story in their eyes, right? Like they never got bored. They were so captivated, and to be able to fly through a 700-page book, it's wild. And then to connect with it so deeply. I mean, there were just so many elements that when I'm writing these books, I'm like, I wonder if this will mean something to someone. And then having a reader come up to me with a random line that seems like a throwaway line almost, and it has a great impact on their lives. It's such a beautiful moment.
Well, I think that's a testament to your work, to your fans. Because they're not taking a year and a half to read the books, that they're so invested in. They
Yes.
want to read it really quickly and then want to share that with the community as well too of fans.
Absolutely, and I'm so grateful. It is truly the greatest compliment. Sometimes I am like, hey, slow down a little bit because I worked on this for a year and a half, and
Yeah.
you knocked it out in a few hours. But I'm like, you know what? If it's because you loved it that much, I'm already hearing from students who are like, how do I keep reading this? I have class. I'm like, focus on your studies, please. The book will still be there.
That has been Adam. Thank you so much for your time today. The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. Available now. He's on the tour now. He's on the East Coast, coming to Anderson's Bookshop on May 15th, and then wrapping up the tour in May 19th in California. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a great time in Chicagoland, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you.